Wake up and let's go to the Mindless Morning Show.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Mindless Morning Show. I'm here with my co-host Dakota, as always, and we have an extra special guest, the best boss in the world, Michael Scott, also known as KULICK. How are you doing today, man?
So everybody's got to look at the camera now like they do in the office.
Oh, yeah, we had an opportunity.
We had it. I know we had it.
Start this? Can you
go back?
Okay. So, I don't know. I can't look at the camera and actually talk. I have to look at you guys to talk. I know it's something people have mentioned before to me.
It's definitely a difficult here. I'm trying to do it. I can, but I don't know anything that he really says. I have no jokes. So, hi, I'm KULICK. How you guys doing?
That's what she said.
There you go.
Nice. Nice. Solid.
It's the easiest one. So how you doing today, man?
I'm good. I say I'm a little hot. It's very hot in this upstairs second floor studio. The AC makes too much noise, so I literally just got a shower and put a hat on, and I'm already sweating bullets. So I think I will get my second shower after this.
Those second showers are the best, especially when you leave it on ice cold.
Yeah, a cool shower. We're packing to go to New York, and I have really wrinkly leather pants, so I was hoping to get a hot shower and get some of those wrinkles out. And they didn't go away. So I basically just got a hot shower for nothing, and now I'm here.
Yeah, I mean,
what problems I have, what terrible problems I have. I mean,
hey, you know, we all got them. we all have our very first world problems.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Everything's good. I feel healthy and happy, and a lot of good stuff going on. So can't complain.
Awesome.
Sure.
Speaking of all of that, yeah, being happy and healthy. I saw that you guys, you and April just played a show the other day.
Yeah.
How was getting back at it after the whole pandemic?
Very different, because obviously just not seeing people for a year, first of all. Second of all, I've been like sober for 2.5 months, which was kind of involuntary, but did it and still am doing it. So being back, yeah, it's everyone teaches on, man. I'm seriously, but it was different doing a show sober like that, because you really there's nothing to dumb it down. Like your nerves are there, the people are there, your emotions are there. But it was really fun. We played at the Bitter End in New York. I played like an acoustic set with some tracks, and then April Rose Gabrielli, who they were talking about, she absolutely killed it and played a full band show. And yeah, it was a sold out show, and it was incredible. It was really, really fun, and I can't wait to do some more shows.
Yeah, I saw some of you guys' posts on Instagram and the stories, and I was like, man, I wish I was there and not in Kansas.
Yeah, dude, it was really good. It was honestly really good. And living in Central PA, I basically feel like I've been in Kansas the last 1.5 years. So it was nice to be in the city for a little bit.
Yeah, man, everybody in the pandemic feels like they've been in Kansas for the last year.
That's true. That is true.
So, I'm my condolences on being sober involuntarily. That's never any fun.
It's all good, dude. I was not, like I said, I was not expecting to really, I don't really want to get into that too much, but it's been an eye opener, because I've basically been not sober. Substances was like 14 years old ish. And then it wasn't debilitating. I think that's why no one really I didn't have like a problem, but it was still just like being sober for the last 2+ months. It's like, oh wow, I feel like I kind of slept through that a little bit, and now you have to kind of like relearn coping mechanisms and things like that, and how to chill out and calm down without some things. But I don't know how long I'll do it. I just know that it's a good break, so I'm just continuing every day for now. But anyway, what were you gonna say?
Yeah. No, we certainly won't get into the nitty gritty of that. But I will say, like, if you ever do feel just the drive or the motivation to speak on that, I'm sure there are plenty that would love to hear that story to help them with themselves. And kudos to you, man, for doing it. But
yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I will at some point. I want to figure out a way to talk about it and say it and not sound like it's like You know, I don't feel this way whatsoever, but like it's better to be sober, or you should really like, because I don't necessarily feel that way. Like I think there's a balance between certain things, and I just don't have that message yet, you know, to say it clearly and not sound like I'm just like one of those. I'm straight edge now, and everyone else should be in. Don't throw plastic in the water or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not my thing. It's not my thing at the moment, but I would love to at some point.
Yeah, kudos, man. And for our listeners or viewers, I'm sorry we've kind of just like jumped right into it because I don't know, these guys are so awesome. We talked to April already. We spoke a bit to KULICK prior, and I don't know, after listening to all their music and all this, I mean, we just feel like we know you. So yes, they're singers, songwriters. KULICK, you're super multi-instrumental. Like you even produce all your own stuff. Like that's
just
fucking
does it all. Not only that, man, right? But you taught yourself the majority of it, right?
Yeah. So like just a basic rundown. Hi, my name's Jacob. My last name's KULICK. That's the band name. And I've been basically writing songs since I was 14 or so. I went to college for audio engineering, which is how I got behind the whole mixing and mastering and producing. And then I just started making my own stuff and producing. And then I started working with other artists. April was actually like one of the first ones I started working with. I got to co-produce her first single that's out. It's called Do You. And I work with Kevin Eisenman as well, who's very talented, multi-instrumentalist and producer. And yeah, I never had the tools, or I was too introverted to network with people who do the other things. So I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna like learn it on my own, and it's been good so far. I'm definitely still very self-conscious of it. I was born half deaf in both ears, so I still make sure that like I get other people to listen to my mixes and they're not too bright or anything. But yeah, I love doing it all. I mix, master, produce. I'll play instruments on people's tracks. I normally don't sing on people's tracks. It's something I don't really do. But yeah, I love doing it all, man. I actually, one of the first gigs that I had that wasn't my own music was I made like the theme song for some sports show on WFAN, which is, it's like a sports talk radio at CBS Radio in New York, which was like a cool gig. But yeah, and now I'm making music, and I'm making an alternative pop punk record.
Nice. What was the thing you made for them? Was it like a little jingle or something?
Yeah, it was a jingle. Dude, I love jingles. I'm the corniest freaking guy. Absolutely. I try to do it on a separate like name and everything, so no one knows that it's associated. But yeah, dude, it was Steve Summers. That was the guy's name. He was actually kind of a dick about it, but they kind of like made fun of it, but they still played it, so I counted as making a jingle for him.
There you go.
Yeah,
dude, jingles are awesome, man.
Yeah, I actually, that was like one of the first things I learned in college, because I went to the Art Institute of Philadelphia, and we had to, like, our homework was always to engineer stuff, but they didn't just have music, so you had to make it. So like I had to do like a 30-second and a 60-second ad for like a fake company. So I did like Monster Truck Rally, kids getting free, blah, 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 like that kind of shit. So I started very, 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 very corny.
That's awesome. It's the way to go, though. You know, you like let yourself like just get out there and kind of let yourself go and do that stuff. It's good. Dude,
work is work. That's where I'm at. And if it's creative work, it's for me. So I'm cool with that.
Oh yeah, and I mean, creative you are, like, and the fact that you told us that you're half deaf in both ears, practically for the sake of argument here, you're half deaf overall, and that's fucking incredible that one, you're able to sing in tunes, because like I sing in the shower and people, like my whole neighborhood calls thinking that there's like animals being tortured or something because it's just me singing. So
I've heard it. It's not great.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, I can hear just fine, but fuck, that's impressive.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you. Second of all, I'm still not super confident with it, but if you were to interview my brothers or my family, they would say that I was also horrible for like years. Like I was really not on pitch as a singer when I was first starting. It's just like me like whining like about like why does a girl not like me or stop bullying me for like 3 years, 4 years, and then I eventually started getting a little bit better.
Yeah, so you went through the same phase as everybody else. You just sang about it.
Yeah, and I kept getting through it though because I kept singing poorly for years, and eventually it got a little better, and then
Nice.
but the more I started to do it, the better I got. Same with everything like acoustic guitar. It used to make my fingers freaking bleed. I was so bad at it. I stopped for a couple of years. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is horrible. And then if you stick to anything that you enjoy, I think you'll get good at it. I swear to God,
I was like, Josh, what are you doing right now?
I had to flip off my middle gig.
I was going to ask how long that's been sitting there. Playing it.
It's got about a half-inch layer of dust on it.
I was gonna say it looks dusty.
Yeah, no, it's I'm not good at it at all. I have honestly tried, but I can't maneuver my fingers in ways that I need to.
Yeah, I tried Guitar Hero and I knew I wasn't able to do it from then. So
dude, I suck at Guitar Hero, but I'm better.
That's what everybody says, that I knew that was good at a guitar. They're like, I'm terrible at Guitar Hero, but I shred.
Dude, Guitar Hero is so difficult, man. It's so difficult.
That makes me feel better. So
yeah, no, it's pretty good. So you have that on me for sure.
Sweet.
I never played Guitar Hero with the actual guitar. I just played it with the controller, and I will say,
who does that? What?
Dude, I don't even care, because you know what? I am so proud to say this. I've gotten through the Fire and Flames on Expert with the controller.
You're on a controller. Yeah, that's what?
With the controller. Yes.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
What is hard? There's no like. Why is that hard?
Do the Fire and Flames, right? Is that the song?
Yeah, that's like the hardest song.
Dude, it's the one where you press start and all the buttons come flashing towards you and you're moving on a panic attack.
Yeah, but on a controller, you're just button mashing, man. You're like,
yeah, no, I like, because you have those really long lines of those consistent notes, so you're sitting there like switching over to the different triggers that you got to do. Like, it's
the controller would be harder than the guitar controller.
Yeah, dude.
I'm not saying I'm doing it in like perfectly. Like, I am definitely missing many notes, but I'm doing enough to stay alive on a controller. So I'm very proud of that.
Dude, I totally forgot about this, and I mean, this is a little geeky, so I don't know if you guys knew this, but Guitar Hero had this workaround where you can I forget exactly the process, so I might butcher it a little bit, but I think you took the game CD and you put it in your computer, and then they had the folders of all the songs, right? So I had a cover band at the time, and I had some original songs, and you can move that file and then put your own songs in, and then put the game back in the system, but the buttons were still the same as the last song. So like you would still have to play like Through the Fire and Flames, but it would be like your own song or whatever song you assigned it to. So it wasn't like on tempo or anything, but you could hear your song through Guitar Hero.
That's pretty cool.
So sick. That's so funny. I don't know where that was stored back here, but
that's awesome.
No, I'm surprised to hear that. I've never actually heard that before, but
yeah, you should look it up. Like you could literally just put any song you wanted to in there. I forget. I did it on a Windows. I know that. But yeah, it was like such a really slow like ballad with my whiny ass voice on and not in tune. And then it was like Sweet Home Alabama like on the guitar or something. I forget. It was like really bad, but
hell yeah. And don't worry about geeky or nerdy, man. We're gamers. I'm a game developer. Like I love all that shit. Do you not see my whole display of nonsense here?
I didn't know what that was. I thought it was kind of a crane game.
It's just got a crane game in the back. His daughter comes running out and starts playing.
Honestly, I wish it was a crane game now that you mentioned it, but no, it's just all my like useless pop figurines and action figures and.
Well, it looks like you take care of them though. That's respectable.
Yeah, I mean,
your room looks pretty sick, to be honest with you.
When my daughter comes in here, though, she beats on the case, and a lot of my pops fall over, and they're still
wild.
She is.
That's great.
Out of control. I'm sure she guest stars with her screaming in the background almost every episode. And folks, I'm sorry, but
yeah,
I'm a dad, so
bring her in. We should come up with some kind of question in the middle. Anyway, Go ahead.
So, what started the whole music process for you? What made you fall in love with music? I mean, you say you started out of tune and like just terrible. So, like, what gave you the drive to go and pursue it?
Well, I've always been active. Always liked outdoors. Always liked just being active in general. And I started writing journal entries in middle school, and those became songs basically. And I just wanted to really be. I would listen to like songs in my studio space, which was like my bedroom closet, with like the headphones on, and I'd push them close and turn the volume all the way up, and I would really try to listen to like where things were placed, like the vocals, and I would try to imagine myself in that type of room and be like, oh, my voice can sound cool in this environment too, because I had no idea how they did it. I just assumed it was like one room and like a live take, which obviously it wasn't. Like I was listening to like Britney Spears and whatever, all these pop records that obviously were layered. Yeah. But yeah, I always loved music. I started with drums. That was really fun to be like super. It was so at the same time I was like taking karate. It was like kind of similar. Like you're like playing the drums and like it was like the same type of thing for me. And then started playing acoustic. I wanted to be in a cover band. I was in a cover band from my hometown called Story of Another, and it just kind of kept taking off. Where I wanted to play gigs. I think I needed to be creative in that way because I felt as a middle child that I was never being paid attention to or listened to. So like all my songs were like, listen to me, motherfuckers. Or like, can anybody hear me? Like it was all emo, like that kind of stuff. And I was also like, I was roofing. I was doing construction with my dad and uncle's company from the time I was like 15, I'd say. So I was just always working like over the summer, 40-hour weeks, like no friends, like whatever. And then I come home and write songs. So it was just something that I did to fill my time.
Was there?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Was there anybody that like? I mean, especially back then in that stage, was there anybody that inspired you, or like that you, other than Britney Spears or those people that you were listening to, that made you want to like keep going?
This is not PG. Only because of the band name. Only because of the band name. Like I had a ton of musical inspirations. I love Tom Petty. I mean, I can go into that. My dad and brothers lifted weights downstairs, so like any Metallica and like just a bunch of random acts. Like that's where I heard my music, was like lifting weights with like my family basically. So it was all classic rock and stuff. But there was a cover band in my hometown, and they had 3-part harmony, and they were phenomenal. And I was like this young punk kid that was like, I want to be better than them and start like, they're gonna eventually not want to play shows. I want to play those gigs. And they played every block party, which is like a big thing in my town. It's like where all the alcoholics go and drink and sing the songs that they know. So I wanted to do that, and they were so good. I mean, he's still so good. The lead singer's name is Matt Cochio. I'm friends with them now. But the band name was Camel Toe.
Nice.
And I just remember like it was a problem when I had my early interviews. They were like, anybody inspiring? I'm like, yeah, Camel Toe, this band Camel Toe. Like, I gotta stop saying that. And I'm like, all right, fine, I'll just say a cover band. But yeah, like they were super inspiring though, because it was like those guys had blue collar jobs, and then they were able to still make money doing music. I didn't know anybody else from my area though that was doing anything. I was set on being the first one that you can like Google and be like, oh, he's from Tamaqua. Wow, he did something.
Tamaqua.
Yeah, Tamaqua, Pennsylvania, like small town.
Josh is
sounded out of the country. Yeah.
Hey, whoa!
Yeah.
Don't call me that.
Tamaqua. It means land of the running water, and it's right next to a town called Hometown and Coaldale, where Coaldale was where you mined coal. And Hometown, I don't know.
I like how you have those two names and then Tamaqua. Yeah, and
Tamaqua. Dude, there's some crazy names to come from. There's a place called Lehighton. There's a place called McAdoo. There's a place called, there's a bunch. There's a bunch. But yeah, there was no one from my hometown. And I remember being a kid, like being picked on and just feeling like I didn't fit there. Like I was like one of the first kids to wear skinny jeans. And like, I just didn't, like everyone else is like just completely just the most normal you can possibly be. or on heroin and pot. Like that was like the two options of like my hometown, and I was told not either one of those. So yeah, I wanted to like show like other kids in the future, which I guess is now, which is crazy, that you can totally go like you can escape this bubble that this town is and like do some incredible things, you know. I didn't foresee social media, like obviously being able to show everybody all the shit you can do back then. So, you know, but if you Google like notable people from Tamaqua, my name comes up. So I checked that one off. That one's pretty cool for me.
Yeah,
I know.
I mean, I feel like if you Google yourself and you have like a Wikipedia page, man, like you're like, hey, I think I'm making it.
Yeah, but I might have even made that. I might have started that.
Nah, nobody needs to know that.
No, honestly, I have edited it a few times though, because there have been some wrong things. Yeah. April actually searched. I don't know what website this is on. I have to send it to you, but there's like a website that's like Jacob Kulik. I forget what age they say. They say I'm worth $2 million. It's like I'm worth like minus that, and then it says I'm like 6'11" and 400 pounds or some shit with brown eyes. And it's like this celebrity info. I'm like, you guys are very off.
That's awesome.
You know, there's a few celebrities that we do research for and things like that prior, and it seems to me every time I search a female one, there's this whole celebrity roster sheet where it's got like really weird information I wouldn't expect the internet to have, like shoe size, bra size, like what their like parents' name are, their spouse's name, kids' name, like all these like very personal questions, and I'm like, wow.
They just put them up or something, man. Like I don't know why they don't like. I don't know. It's very strange.
It is, and I don't, you know, I don't get it, but and that's one of the things that kind of make me worry about becoming so famous with this amazing show that we got going on here. Don't laugh, Dakota. We're supposed to be serious.
Yeah.
Comedy, man. Laugh at your comedy. I'm behind it. I'm for it. You know what's scary too is like, and this is like a little inappropriate too, but like I feel for like the celebrities that they make like fake like bad videos with, where like they put like their faces on it and shit, like Emma Watson. It's like, what, like that's terrible that happens to you, and that they can't even do anything about that. You know,
there's some crazy stuff that happens, man. Is there anything that you've had to deal with like that besides the 6'11" one that you were just talking about? No,
I never had anything creepy. I have some random people message like inappropriate stuff, but no, nothing too crazy. I definitely think females have that way worse. And I don't know if that's a primal thing or if it's like literally just no respect for that. I don't know, but I hope that like that eventually starts to clear. Like it seems like there's no, since it's on the internet and you're not like, they would never say it to your face. That's the weird part. It's like on the internet, it's like, oh, I'll just comment like, nice tits, bitch. And it's like, why are you allowed to do that? Like, would you walk up to someone at a Walmart and say that? No.
They're keyboard warriors.
Yeah, dude.
But you mentioned primal, and I kind of would like to think that cavemen back in the day, since they probably didn't have very much to do, they're just walking around whipping it out, seeing who wants it. You want it? Yeah? No? Okay. Well,
I mean, that was kind of the alpha thing, right? Who was the alpha?
You'd think we'd outgrow that by now.
Yeah, no, there's still some things, I guess, rooted into the DNA, but overall, I think for the most part, our carnal desires are more so toted thanks to
dude, I say it all the time. It's a vicious circle. History truly repeats itself.
I'm just gonna throw it out there. We got this one twat who does a song about a wet ass, you know, and that blows up. Wait,
a wet ass what? Yeah. What are you talking about?
a wet ass booty. And you know, it's terrible. It's terrible music. It's garbage. And then we got KULICK over here.
But we had our share of songs too back in the day.
Dude,
Like
we
what?
did, but it was not the same as this. I really
Yeah,
don't think
no.
it was the same
What
as
about the my neck, my back one? Like
That
there were
wasn't-
some bad ones. There were some raunchy ass ones.
No, I
There
was
was
in
the
high
Whisper
school,
song
but
from the Yin Yang Twins. Like,
I think there was less number one though. I think there was less, whereas now it's literally
oh
every
yeah,
like I watched that Triller fight, which was the worst piece of entertainment I've ever seen. You know what I'm talking about? It was like Logan Paul versus the UFC
yeah.
fighter who like took the punch and got the money, but whatever.
Dude, he
That
legit
whole-
like lifted him up as he was about to fall because he didn't want the fight to end.
Yes, yes. But that whole event, every performance was like I want to make like a show where like people just have to perform in like their pajamas, like full like pants and like a full onesie pajama, like just sing, just do like still do all your stuff, like you're dancing and all that, like do everything that you do that's talented, but like can we just not make it like I feel like it's like because sometimes there's songs that are really really good but still have the elements that you guys are talking about, and it's like I wish you didn't feel the need to be like, you know, my song's good, my lyrics are good, this is good, but just in case I'm also going to like show my whole entire body.
Sexualize it.
Yeah, I just don't like I'm not a fan of sexualizing, and I try to make sure I don't, and I try to not promote other artists that do that. Like it's tough. Like here's an artist I'll talk about, like Halsey's an example. I love Halsey's music. I think she has a better balance compared to most music, but it's still just like, you know, like your music's so good, like you're so talented, and she has the right as a human being to do what she wants, and that's where I stop talking about it because I have no idea. I don't know. If you want to do that, that's cool. I just know for me, I don't want to do that. I don't necessarily enjoy it, and I know like I don't know, I'd love for kids to grow up and not have to see that and then feel like that their talents are enough, you know?
Right.
yeah, and I mean that's respectable as hell, but unfortunately, sex does sell, and I mean,
Yeah. It's been that way forever, man.
I was gonna say it's been like that forever. So
The old Carl's Jr. commercials, man. I remember those when I was a kid. There was always some like model and wearing barely anything on a car eating a Carl's Jr. burger.
but it's like a sexist model because, like, dude, I put on my Speedo and like I try to promote Mindless Morning Show, and like we lose subscribers after that. Like I don't.
We've been trying to get a bunch of like, you know, like steam and movement for this calendar that we're gonna do, but we just keep losing people. I don't know what's going on, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get that completely because it's definitely something that I see that kind of like it's a terrible beast that can almost never be, I guess, tamed, for lack of a better word.
well, like I said, the problem is right now, especially society's rewarding it. So it's like they're definitely not, you know, like I even think the same thing sometimes where it's like, all right, if I did a show, if I performed with my shirt off versus my shirt on, like I guarantee you it'd do better. I know it would do better, but it's like I'm not going to do that just because, you know, I'm not even going to say other bands. So there's other bands that are in the same genre that do that kind of shit, and they sell that, you know, that I'm a hot boy who is you know, emo and going through a tough, I'm bad boy this who like has the makeup running or some blood or some shit. It's like, dude,
You should do it where you like
you're fucking one in your living room,
rip your shirt off and throw it and do like a whole manly thing, and then just get another really nice shirt and be like, but I also look damn good in this shirt, and then put it back on.
I'll take it. I'll get yours and then just have the identical shirt.
It's like the little tease for the moment, but
yeah, it's
mean,
really weird, man. It's a really weird thing, and I've luckily never been like too pressured to do anything like that. But I definitely know it's definitely a thing. It's definitely a thing, and you can't stop it. You can't stop it.
Well, I mean, and I gotta ask because you're in this industry, so you know better than I. But I'm pretty sure you're well aware of the fact that for the most part in the industry, like you really gotta almost have to sell your body, not in like a sex way, but like you have to sell it to Hollywood or to your publicist or whoever you're working with to kind of really make it big. It not always. It seems like that with a lot of times, like you know, with a lot of the people, because you look at them, they have minimal fucking talent. You wonder how the hell they get there. At least I do. I don't know.
Or they have a ton of talent, but they still do it. Like that's the thing that confuses me. Like Shawn Mendes as an example, like super talented dude, but still does like like I said, this is a hard one for me because you should be able to do what you want. And I mean, if you feel like you look good, you should be able to dress the way you want, you know, to do it. So it's just, I think it's all up to what you personally want to do. And it just so happens that right now in the world, what's being pushed is that, you know, because I think if you sell what you are organically, that will work. Like there's other artists that really sell like AJR is a great example. I don't think they over sexualize anything. They're just totally whatever AJR is. They're like kind of like Disney, but kind of like I don't understand them. My brothers love them. I also love
them. They got good music. They got some hits that I like.
Yeah, they have huge hits, but like that's an example, and they're just three brothers, and they just do that. 21 Pilots doesn't over sexualize.
Wait, they're brothers? I didn't know they were brothers.
Yeah, I think all three of them are brothers.
I just thought they were friends. I guess now that I think about it, they look alike.
I'm pretty sure they're all brothers. But like 21 Pilots doesn't do that. Like there's a bunch of like I don't think Pink does it that much. Like she did when she was younger. She talks about it.
Yeah, but that was like I mean the same with all the stuff for Britney too. Like they were like forced to when they were younger.
Yep. Yeah, but I think if you can organically sell just who you are, I have to believe in it that it'll work. You know, because not everybody has to do that. And like I said, it's to each his own. If you want to do it, I don't look down on it. I really don't look down on it. I have to like the music first.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it should be like, regardless of how they look. If their music's good, their music's good. You know, that's all that it should be. Like,
honestly, for me, the thing is not the over sexualization of it. It's how vulgar it is sometimes. Yeah. Where it's like where the camera's at, how much I'm seeing. It's like, that's the part that I'm like, this is like literally softcore porn. Why am I watching this for a music video?
It's the cameraman's fault.
It's almost involuntary. Like I feel like that with social media, dude. I never go on that explore page.
It's all it is.
I'm not interested in anything that they show me. And when I do, it's just like, here's a model like, oh, I love the beach. Make sure life's not a beach. And it's just like this girl showing her whole entire ass with like her underwear like stretched all the way up. It's like why I'm on Instagram to try to promote my music. I go on my explore page for 1 second and it's just like shoved in my face. I would love to just have a day where I don't see somebody's like ass.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind it. I'm not saying don't show me, but you know, no, I mean,
don't show me trying to get something.
Yeah, if I can't log into an app or like do like business related social media posting, or you know, just even listen to a music video without like having to worry like, is my wife gonna come in any moment? Like, all right, hold on, oh, maybe not.
Honey, what are you doing? I'm watching Game of Thrones.
Well, I mean, you know, that's acceptable. She likes Game of Thrones, but no, dude, it's just it's mind-boggling some of the stuff that's out there, because I look at a lot of the older stuff. Like, yeah, we had our fair share of songs that, you know, promoted sexual things to a degree, but they were like innuendos like Disney does in their movies. Like the parents get it, the kids don't. But now you got artists who are just straight up telling you, yeah, that meat wallet between your legs, use it. Oh, dude, get money. Like, no, you can't do that.
I'm trying to really think about it, because like I agree where I kind of agree that we did have songs like that. Like I'm thinking like the Thong Song was totally a song.
Like, there was the Ass and Titty song. There was
I didn't listen to everything. I didn't listen to everything. Okay.
like we had plenty of songs that were like, yeah, maybe they're a little bit worse now, but I think that has to do with social media and where things.
I think lyrically it did, but I think there was more censorship. Like I don't think it was as. You know, and also like it was like, all right, you saw the music video, wow, that was vulgar and insane, and now I don't anymore. Whereas social media's like, now I see it more. Now I see TikToks of other asses doing this. Now I see, you know what I mean? It's like it's almost inescapable. I agree. I think it's more the social media thing. I've been trying to I put like app limits, which haven't really worked, but I've been basically trying to only go on to post as a business and not even as a person at this point. But I will say, to give people hope after this like 15-minute rant of how horrible the world is, that like when I do post, when I'm true to myself and like share like a real piece of me, it usually reacts well. And it doesn't have to be like me at the beach, like, you know, flexing my pecs. It can just be, you know, me like making a painting and being like, hey guys, like, you know, it's been a rough week, but I'm still here. I hope you guys get to do what you want to do today, and nothing but love to you guys. Like that still does well. So I'm just waiting for that to come back and be cool.
So
Yeah,
with
man.
you saying that, can you tell us about your special project song that you released called H?
Yes. What brought that up though? I'm very curious why that segue.
Just, I don't know, just how you kind of went into it from the last one, like putting a part of you into it.
Oh yeah. Okay. I thought you meant my pecs. I was like, my pecs.
No. yeah. No. As far as like putting a part of you into it, because yeah, like knowing that song a little bit and what it's
Yeah,
about.
no, for sure. So H was a song that I did a while ago. A friend of mine, I knew her from middle school and high school, and a couple years after graduation, she passed away from a heroin overdose, which was actually fentanyl was laced, and she was in rehab, got out of rehab, decided to relapse, and got fentanyl laced heroin, which is like 100 times more powerful than heroin. So it killed her because it was way too potent for her. But her parents reached out to me and said, this is a poem that she wrote in rehab. Like, would you make this a song for us? And I was like, yeah, I'll totally do that. And I'll also like make a documentary. So I went to their house and filmed them and talked to them about their daughter and, you know, everything that they went through with her and how she struggled and how she got into it. Because our town, like, it still has such a terrible heroin epidemic. Yeah, so I made the song, and then just this year I decided to release it and kind of re-record it. So because I forget how many years it's been, but it was an anniversary of her passing, and I was like, I would love to like actually put the song on Spotify, because a lot of people who I don't relate to as much, like that group of people really relate to that song of like getting through that and like trying to like, you know, to get through without abusing drugs. And like I've never done something so heavy like that, but I do understand addiction, and I do understand being in a dark place and then just saying like, screw it all, do this, you know. So I related to them, but I wanted them to at least have this song and maybe a community where like, okay, you heard the song too, cool, like let's talk this out kind of thing. Because I did have a lot of people reaching out to me about it. I didn't really have too much advice on it, so I started trying to like learn a little bit about at least where they could go for help. And her parents have I guess would be a foundation for her too, so it helped for that too. So they kind of got some traction for that. But yeah, it was it took a couple passes at the song to get it right and make sure it felt emotional and everything. But yeah, I wrote that a couple years ago. We just put it out this year.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely one of the ones that I've been listening to on Spotify, and you can feel the emotion in it, and knowing that, it definitely makes it that much more powerful. So I'll say that's awesome that you did that.
Yeah, I had to definitely tap into like I said, I had to really like, because some songs I can just kind of come in here, sing it, and be cool. The one was like, all right, I have to wait till like nighttime, the lights have to be off. Like I got to really like feel like you have to do it justice. Like that one felt very. It sounds so not cliche, but it sounds like kind of like bullshit. But like it felt like magical. It was like, oh wow, like this it feels. Like it feels like a very emotional, real song, and singing someone who passed away, their words was really eerie for me too. I was like I have to make sure like I like do this justice, because this is somebody who like she literally wrote it like a month I think before she passed away. So it was like, holy shit, this is like one of the last things she wrote.
That's rough. I mean, yeah. And kudos to you, because I mean you're taking a very dark, sad moment and making a very, very great, beautiful song, piece of art.
Thank you. I feel like that's what I've been doing my entire career.
Yeah.
Like these things just happen, and it's so funny. Like when I was young, like the bullying thing totally was real. Wrote about that. And then like when I got signed to RCA and I was writing like Ghost, Colors, Hole in My Head, those are the first times I was co-writing with people, and there wasn't really anything bad happening. So like I wasn't really attached to those songs as much. Colors I am a little bit more. Like that one was real. But that was another real situation. Colors I wrote with Carlo Colasaco, and his fiance had cystic fibrosis, CF, and she was always in the hospital. And like we were writing a song about like let's write an optimistic like get through this song. And she passed away. Like that was like a thing that we wrote about. Like so that was deep and dark. And then my album Young and Quiet Neighborhood was like a divorce record. So I was like, okay, I'm going through a divorce now. Let's write a song about a divorce. So and this alternative record is totally going through some crazy stuff over here at the moment. So it's like it's funny when you think that it's going. I used to think things were going badly, but now I realize how much I just beat myself up, because when you go through shit that's actually really bad, like I'm the most optimistic, positive, give gratitude person I've ever been now, because the more stuff that happens, I'm like, dude, on having a good day is a freaking blessing. And I just, I grew up Catholic and grew up religious, and I would not say I'm religious, definitely not Catholic. But I still believe in that. Just like give thanks, be grateful, like every day. I try to do it every day before bed and every morning to kind of be like, give me a good day and set good intentions. I don't know. I believe in that. I believe in visualizing good things, and it keeps me calm too. See, so I sound like one of those straight edge guys who just quit everything.
I was gonna say overall staying positive, like just positive in general helps, man. Like your body feeds off that energy, and so does your mind. So
100%.
It's really difficult to. It's really difficult to, especially sober. Especially sober. I used to smoke weed and meditate. That was like my favorite thing to do. I was like, I'm going to just smoke weed and meditate.
Yeah.
And now I just try to meditate, and it's a lot harder to get there, but it's still beneficial, and it's still good. And I've had an anxiety thing ever since I was really young, since like basically my grandfather died, and I always had bad coping mechanisms: smoking cigarettes, Xanax, too many Xanax, drinking, weed, whatever. So now I'm like, all right, like now I do the typical thing everyone says: eat healthy, drink water, stretch in the morning, run. Like, whoa, take care of yourself. What a fucking abstract idea.
Well, I mean, and to jump back to, it's good to show appreciation for life, because it really is precious. The time that we do have conscious is very precious. So I commend you for that. And also, it's funny enough, you had mentioned about Colors being about CF. It was the one song that I like really listened to the most, and I didn't know why. I just really liked it. Like it was
a really good one.
Yeah, it was hitting, and that's actually the one I shared with pretty much everybody. Like, yeah, check this out. And so my daughter, she has CF. I mean, hopefully not the same outcome as what you had described.
She had Michelle. Her name was Michelle. She had a very rare, specific thing, and she was in and out of hospitals. I mean, they gave her a life expectancy of like 12. She lived till she was like, I think 20s. Like it was like she had a specific thing. Yeah. But anyway.
It's a scary thing. There's actually only one other person in the world, and they're in France, that has the same gene that she has. So we know little to nothing about what her level of it will be. But I mean, we're just taking it day by day. She's only 2 right now, but so, I mean, yeah, but Colors is a great song, and it sticks out with me. And now it means even fuck ton more to me now. So, I mean, that's great.
So crazy that one attached to you with that, like that too. I wish nothing but the best for you and for her, man. I mean,
thank you.
Life is crazy. And when you meet people who have certain, whatever it is, struggles or things to overcome, it really makes you it makes you really appreciate the good days and your own health. And yeah, like I was fortunate enough to go through a lot of my life not having to think about mortality. And I thought about it when I was young, had a lot of anxiety, and then decided to never think about it again. And all of a sudden, like, real stuff starts to happen, and you're like, you start to think about it, and you start to treat people nicer, and you're like, why? When you go through real shit like that, that's why things like we were talking about, like the social media stuff and everything, starts to frustrate you, because you're like, all of this is so small, and like you have no idea what other people are going through. And this is such materialistic bullshit. Like, just take care of yourself and take care of the people you love, and treat other people like you love them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what, man. I love you. You're great. You're a great human. It's really a refreshing, thing to hear, that there are still good people in the world like you. Because I mean, there are a lot of people that just seems to me like they just go about their day. They don't give a shit about anything or anyone else.
Man, especially since like I've been fanboying over your music for like since we interviewed April, I've been listening to both your guys' music. Like Josh and I will be talking and it's just playing in the background. He's like, "Oh, again?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's going, man." So like,
man, I want to see your city on my top like 10 on Spotify.
Yeah, dude, it probably will be already.
Yeah, man.
I honestly appreciate it, and I always joke that well, two things. One, I hope I keep speaking like this and that it becomes popular, because this is what I think I would love this to be like, what is up there, instead of everyone shaking their ass,
Manifest it, baby. That's all you gotta do.
One, and number two, I always joke that like, when I'm older and maybe I can't sing anymore, I'm just going to be an inspirational speaker, because I want people I don't think people know like how much they have, in the simplest terms, how much if you just let go of some shit. And like, you need to do some self-work though, and no one wants to fucking do it. They just want to hide themselves in their phones and their but I think it's coming around. I feel like it was so close. It was doing so well. I feel like it was doing well, and then I felt really like it was like making a switch in like 2017 or so, when everyone, like, I felt like it was like in again to be like spiritual and shit, and then I don't know what happened. I don't know.
I feel like there's definitely
we'll get there, man. We'll get there.
We will.
Yeah.
I think that one of the big things that you just said there was getting over shit, man. That's one of the biggest things. Getting over shit, being stubborn, dude. That's what like people have the biggest issues with, in my opinion.
Overcoming pride.
Yeah. Because like I'm not gonna forget that they did that to me, because they did that to me. Like what I'm gonna do something bad. Like, no, just like forget it,
Right. And it's really hard to hear that though, because like when I was like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, like those ages, like I held so much anger towards everybody and everything. My parents, like what I was like, no one understood me, all this, and I don't know if that takes age, but I don't think it even takes age, because I know people that are older than me that are still like doing the same shit. It's like you have to eventually learn like, wow, like we're so finite.
It's about having a positive outlet without the drugs or alcohol or things like that to take it away from you. Like, yeah. So like as an adult or as somebody older now that has seen that stuff or gone through it, like trying to give that outlet for those people or for younger people, and that to just be like, hey, there's people that have gone through that same stuff. Like, we're here for you, things like that, without, like how we were in school and people would come and tell you that and you're like, oh, whatever, it'll be different, I'm fine. Like,
see, that's what I'm trying to come up with, the way of how to say it so that kids will understand it, instead of just being like, oh, you're just one of those old adults that says that shit. Like, because I want to somehow explain, like, listen, I totally understand that what you think what I'm saying is bullshit. I get it. Like, I understand that. It's the same thing how like people used to always say like, oh, take your time in school. Like, I used to be like, get me the fuck out of here. And now all of a sudden you're older and you're like, oh, like I totally understand why they said that now. So I'm trying to figure out a way to do it where when I say it resonates with them, of like, oh, I believe that he used to feel like I do, and I can be like that. Because the main emotion that I think is basically useless is anger. I don't think being angry really helps that much. I mean, and I still get angry and I try to let it out with, like I said, like healthier music, writing, running, boxing, doing like things to let it out. But for the most part, I just feel like all anger does is it stresses you, and stress is horrible. Like it's mindfulness. It's really mindfulness. It's trying to have a good perspective and having mindfulness.
Wait, we can't mention that word here on Mindless Morning Show. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
No. And dude, if you ever figure out a way to tell these teenagers who think they're absolutely invincible to the world, like we all once did, dude, you'll probably win a Nobel Peace Prize, because that would probably be something that like would save the world if kids could actually realize that. Cause I mean, I was that kid. My parents were sitting there telling me all the things I needed to do and not do. And what did I do? I did what I was going to do anyway. I think just about every fucking kid has.
I used to do literally the opposite of what my parents.
Yeah, because nobody wants to be told what to do. Yeah, even as a kid. Like
if I respected my parents a little bit more back then, or like really looked up to like who they were as people, or what they did, which I probably should have, I would have listened. But I was like, I literally want to be the opposite of everyone in this town and you. So like, I guess I have to do the opposite. My goal is not to get them to realize that. My goal is to get them step one, which is like almost like get them to do something on their own. Like, hey, you can do exactly what you want to do. Keep going what you're doing. If you're just deciding to ignore it, whatever, but like try to do one of these things, and like just kind of give examples of like, maybe next time you get angry, take a breath, and instead of screaming at whoever you're talking to, don't scream. And then just see how it feels. Like just step one, so that they're like, oh wow, I did something myself and I had a different outcome. Because then you start to realize, like, that's what happened for me. I realized I was just acting on emotion. And all of a sudden, like, I started being more mindful about it. So if there's a way to show kids, like, if there's a way to show them easier coping mechanisms or easier ways to process things, and them to do it on their own, that's the key. I don't know how to do it yet. I don't know.
Man, in this day and age, it probably is going to start with social media, TikTok.
No, you can't start with those.
That's the way of where to spread it, but I don't know what to say yet. So right now,
like that's what I'm saying though. Like that's where they learn all of the stuff from nowadays. That's where they.
Yeah, I know. That's why everyone
slang, their dances, their like the way they act, their mannerisms. So if anything, you with your music and being in that industry, you're closer than any of us are, man. Like get some more leeway, get a couple of other people team up with, and make a musical.
Yeah, it has to be cool. That's the only problem, because right now TikTok I don't like. Like I'm not going to dance. I'm not going to do.
Yeah. Oh, TikTok's rough.
I mean, that's crazy. That's a crazy world to me. But I think eventually
do your paintings, man. Go Bob Ross and just like talk about life while doing your painting. Your paintings are dope.
People you do them on TikTok.
I want to do it with the music, but the problem, and honestly, it's been the best with the music, where I'll try to write something, I'll share my life experience, I'll say the positive message, and people get it, and it's cool. And I want to continue doing that, but I need to write one that like literally hits every age group and every type of person. Like I need that one massive like, okay, this guy gets me, but like everybody gets it, Like the
SpongeBob rip my pants thing.
Yeah, I need to rip my pants.
It says it's the first one. You got your name on it.
I feel like one way to really get to a lot of people, and it may not seem like it at first, but it's something that sticks in people's heads and they fester on it for a while, is to give them the cold, hard, ugly truth sometimes. Like, don't sugarcoat it. I mean, for me, I've always found, like, if somebody can tell me straight up exactly, like, you're being a dick because this is absolute blah, 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 whatever the case may be, like, just tell me it straight up. That's when I learned the best. Like, okay. And it's not like you're holding anybody's hand. Like, you're just being straight up honest, because a lot of people, they like to sugarcoat a lot of things. They don't want to come off as rude or harsh but you need that in life. You need,
honestly, that makes me be silent for a lot of this, because like I'm talking very honestly with you guys, and I do this for interviews, but like I never like decide to post content and just talk like this because I don't want to sound preachy. I don't want to sound like I'm like left-winged or right-winged. I don't, because I'm right in the middle, which I feel like fucking 90% of the people are, but for some reason it just no one fills in that gap.
everybody jumped off the bird. There's no wings anymore. We're just like in air, suspended, flying.
Like one wing over here and one wing over here. Yeah. But no, I've been trying to think of ways to do this, and I don't want to come across as like, you know, this self-righteous freaking whiny white kid that like is trying to be, you know, inspirational or whatever. But I have to start doing it because this is like where I feel most natural. Like, one, I feel natural on stage. Two, I feel natural trying to help people and give advice. So you guys are like actually kind of inspired me a little bit to think about that. So that's cool.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
look, we did something.
Yeah. I mean,
Hey, look, we did something.
I mean, it's been great. Like, because I mean, sitting here talking to you, it's like you're an old friend of ours that we're just shooting the shit, catching up with. And a lot of times, you know, I have a hard time like reading people. Like, are they weird?
Yeah, no,
cool?
I get that. I get that. I used to be way more like that, but I decided to not give a shit anymore.
Yeah, you can't. You can't. I mean, in my business with podcasting, you just can't. Like, I get excited now. Like for a while, I was always like really nervous. Like, oh my God, do I really want to talk to this person? I don't know. I'm nervous. Blah blah blah. But now, like, I get excited. Like, I'm fucking like, let's do this. I'm getting this person. Cool. What have they done?
Like the same thing when I first started as the co-host. I was like, Josh, I'm so nervous. What if I say something wrong? What if they hate my face?
And then you guys, honestly, it'll be fine. None of that matters, and it's just a conversation, man. It's cool.
Yeah. No,
honestly, that's how you have to think of it, even with like performing. Like I have a show on Thursday, performing for Wonderama. It's like a kids show, and it's at Times Square. It's outside on a sound stage, and like whether it's that or whether it's playing for 5 people, like you have to just. It's not pretending. It's the truth. It's just a show. You're just singing. It's not like it's a, you know, it's not a big deal. Nothing is a big deal. Like, this is all just so freaking temporary. And if you can really tap into that, you'll never give a shit again. And it is the nicest feeling.
Yeah. The art of giving 0 shits is quite a beautiful one. But there is a fine line between ignorance being bliss and not giving a shit. Yes. You still have to know right from wrong, and
you gotta know when to give some shits.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the key is actually to give a shit, but don't show too much that you give a shit.
There you go. Play hard to get.
Yeah, it's not really an act though. It's like it's basically saying remain calm. You know, like care about this, but remain calm. Like, you know, when you start to feel like, oh, this is too much, it's like, okay, calm down. It's not that big of a deal, you know.
Just slow and steady, not pushing it all out there.
Like, imagine like these huge artists that are playing like Wembley Stadium, you know, like they can't just like be, oh my God, this is Wembley Stadium tonight. Like, it has to be like, this is like every other show, even though you know that's fucking bullshit. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's true. And I know like nerves get in the way of a lot of people. And sometimes it's really hard to, I mean, the people got to find their crutch, their kind of like way to get by on the anxiety or the nerves. And I mean, as some of you may know, drugs are very good for that. But for those who are being sober, I don't know. I wouldn't know what to do as far as that goes. I would say
I'll tell you. I have the answer.
Give it.
It's exposure therapy. It's doing it over and over and over till you get good at it. I had horrible travel anxiety. I hated tunnels. I used to have to work in New York City. I would drive in the tunnels, have panic attacks, and every day it'd be freaking terrible. But after like the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th time, like, oh, I'm getting better at this, you know? And then after a while, you're like, oh, okay, I proved to myself I can do this. What else can I do? Yeah. You know, and it's the same thing for performing on stage. I still get very nervous before going on, but I like the more you do it, the better you'll get at anything. If you like something, if you want to try something, try it. Don't give up. Keep doing it, and you will get better at it. It's just like you guys with the podcast. I'm sure you guys were completely horrible when you started, didn't know how the technology worked, didn't know how to talk, didn't know how to put the camera, probably had diarrhea shits before you came on.
Excuse me, I'll be right back.
And now look at you.
I had a wall I was on. Yeah, no, I dude, if you were to go back and like listen to like the first 3 episodes, I am like barely talking, and when I am, I like put on this like deep voice as if like, oh well, yeah, like stupid. Like I was just so nervous, like I didn't know how to react, and now
you just have to be you. Isn't that crazy? Because even when I started singing, I used to try to sing with my singing voice, and it's like, no, just sing like you, because if not, you'll really hear through it, and everyone else will be like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it was weird. Like the few days ago, or maybe it was just, I don't fucking know. Maybe 2 days. I don't remember the last episode. But I felt like I actually like really broke out of my shell more than I have in the whole time I've been doing it. And we're coming up on a year next in September. Yeah. So and I just now was like, I could be me. I could be dumb and silly and stupid. I don't have to keep putting on this like front like I'm a professional. I'm Josh. Hello. How are you doing today? Like, oh, fuck that.
like 2 years too. I used to like when I was, like I said, I was on with RCA like 2018 till 2020. Those 2 years I was doing interviews. It was like super serious. Now I do interviews like this. I'm like, I'm just going to be myself. And yeah, I might watch this back, kind of like see, okay, did I say too many times? Like I still try to improve. But I don't judge myself on like how I sound. I don't judge I try not to anyway, I try not to judge myself too much. It's just be myself and unapologetically be myself.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, well, I mean, I hope you watch this again.
Unless you're a douchebag. Like if I'm a douchebag, then I'll try to not. I I try to make sure I'm not a douchebag.
Yeah, I feel like when I'm a douchebag, I know I'm being a douchebag, and I'm just like, it's time to be a douchebag right now. This is the moment I've been waiting for the last week.
It also depends who you're talking to.
I depend on the people I'm talking to.
Yeah, exactly.
There's like okay, I'm not going to react. And yeah, you can read the room. Like you guys are cool, and I like chatting very chill like this. If I'm doing like a radio interview and they're like, so give us your 3 biggest inspirations. I'm going to just obviously give my 3 biggest inspirations. I'm not going to, talk about diarrhea for the 5th time.
I mean, what if diarrhea was the inspiration you had?
Yeah, I've never written a song and being inspired by that.
Can you tell us about your #1 hit, Pooping on the Toilet?
That reminds me of the South Park episode where Stan's dad's a lord. I don't know if you guys ever watched that.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna mention Bono being the giant turd that stands.
That one too. That's a good one too.
I thought he was going with Skirty McBooger Balls.
Oh man, I'm in South Park. I gotta start watching that again.
Nothing's better than South Park, man.
Yeah.
I want to make sure. Have we covered all ground, or is there anything else that you would like to make sure you get out? I know you got a performance coming up here soon.
Yeah, so let me blurt out all my stuff. First of all, I hope you got through this hour pretty painlessly, and maybe you'll run tomorrow. Sick. But no, I have shows September 1st, 3rd, and 5th. One's in Scranton, Pennsylvania. One's in New York at Arlene's Grocery, and one's in Philadelphia. And then I just announced that I'm going to be supporting the Spill Canvas in November. It's like a 3-week tour from November 4th to 3 weeks after that. It's pretty much East Coast. You guys can get tickets at thespillcanvas.net, I think is their website. But just look me up on socials. My socials are at KULICK Official, KULICK. And yeah, stream my songs and come out, see a show. I'll say hi and we can get a picture. Don't be creepy. And that's it.
Nice.
Yeah, don't ask them to take your shirt off. We're not sexualizing these pictures here, folks. All right?
Yeah. Listen, I'm almost turning 30, so if I don't hit it by 31, maybe I'll start showing some nipples. I don't know. But for now, we're nipple free.
Dude, I
got a nipple free band.
Start a new social media trend for everybody that comes to your concert to bring a shirt, and you can sign it and they can hold it up in front of you. And it's like the shirt that you're wearing signed. So
perfect.
Not over sexualization.
I need to bring you on the road. You have all these.
I got ideas, man.
You guys entrepreneurs or what, man?
We can be. May as well be. I will say for our listeners, our viewers, be sure to check out the description because we're going to have all the links to his website, his music, his profiles. Check him out. Be sure to go to his merchandise shop because you can buy a really dope ass painting of his that he does on a drum skin. And I don't think I've ever heard of any other artist doing that. So that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I started doing those during COVID. Like you literally tell me like 2 colors and I'll make a really cool drip art painting for you on a drum skin. They're pretty cheap and it's fun for me to do. So for sure, definitely.
Oh
Yeah, that's awesome.
And also he does work, which we will be talking with him about shortly.
Yeah, anybody needs some music stuff, if you want me to mix your stuff, if you need a jingle for your morning show, whatever you need, man, whatever you need, I'm your man. I'm your man.
And dude, I wholeheartedly appreciate you coming on the show, talking with us, and especially having a great time with us. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude, it was a blast. I need to go to bed. But
yeah, absolutely. You gotta
it was a blast. I need to go to bed.
you gotta get to it. Don't worry, everyone. It is the nighttime. This is not the morning.
Maybe I'm going back to bed. They don't need to know. All of us have our windows shut. Like we're good.
This is true. So before we let you go, are there any last words of wisdom you'd like to pass on to people that you can articulate well?
Yeah, literally 4 words. Be kind to yourself. That's it. At all times, whenever you're feeling angry, whenever you're, just be nice to yourself. You deserve it, and that's it.
Yeah, I feel like the nicer you are to yourself, the nicer you're gonna be to others, right?
Yeah, it's really difficult to I still have a lot of self-hatred. It's really interesting, but I think the work to be nice to yourself is really worth it because you will have a very calm and an abundant life. You'll have a lot of good things coming your way.
Awesome. Well, I mean, I know Josh said it, but yeah, I appreciate you coming on, talking to you. I know, like I said, listening to your music, man, talking about all this, it makes me appreciate it a lot more. And I'm super excited to continue listening and see how much more you grow. Yeah, man, I will keep you guys updated, and I'm down to be on the show whenever you want. So awesome. I appreciate you guys very much, and I hope you have a great night / day / midday / whatever we're saying we're doing here.
Whatever, wherever you are.
Yeah. Wherever you are. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, everybody, stay mindless.
Stay mindless.
See you guys.
Thank you for listening to the Mindless Morning Show. We appreciate you picking us out of the many great podcasts out there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell to get notified whenever we release a new episode or bonus content. Now go enjoy the rest of your mindless day.